Hey guys, today we're taking a look at my Vylon deck. Now I'm a bit new to the archetype and there's a lot of different ways you can run it. So I'm just going to talk about, how I'm using it and kind of what I do. Vylons have a lot of different options in how you want to build them. You can kind of focus more on control, more on swarming, more on OTKs. Mine is a pretty standard Vylon deck and you'll kind of see how it works. The archetype in general does a few different things. It synchro summons, it equips cards, it uses its own equip cards, it equips monsters. There's a lot of things going on, and that's why it gives you a bunch of different options. So in my deck, I'm running 3 Vylon Prisms. Very, very important card. So 1500 attack. It's okay. It's even with its defense, which is nice. But its effect is really nice, that it can equip itself to another monster and have that monster gain 1000 attack when it's battling, which is really, really good. On top of the fact that he's a level 4 tuner, which is very important. And then we have Vylon Cube. Most of the Vylons are going to be tuners, so this one as well. So this one, when it gets synchro summoned, you're able to get an equipped spell card. Very important because you're running a lot of equipped spell cards, and that gives you options with a lot of different things. So you're able to, synchro summon with this, and then, back up whatever you're synchro summoning. And then Vylon Sphere can be decently useful. It's sort of reminds me of Spellbook of the Master. This one kind of allows you to use one of the equipped spell cards you have from your graveyard. So after you're synchro summoning with it and you bring out your Vylons, you'll have it backing up with more equipped cards, kind of like Vylon Cube. Summoner Monk is invaluable in this type of deck. You're running a lot of spell cards and you want to synchro summon very easily. So very, very great card, giving you access to a lot of different things and dumping some spell cards. Photon Thrasher, also really, really good in this deck type. Again, giving you access to an easy swarming that you can use for synchro summoning. Cyber Dragon, another card that's perfect for this deck, a light monster that you can use for swarming. Trident Warrior, again, another light monster that you can use to summon a Vylon Cube. So these cards work together really well, also giving you access to another decent beater. And then we have Honest, obviously Honest in a light-based deck. That's a given. And then one Vylon Tetra. This can be decent to protect some of your monsters, also gives you access to some other levels and some other things you can do, which is very nice. I'm also running Gorz because back row in this deck is not that big. Obviously I'm running Royal Decree, but without it, and you won't always have it often, you can bring out Gorz. And Gorz gives you access to some other synchros, which is nice. And also, obviously again with his token that gives you synchros as well. So very, very nice combination. Guardian of Order. This card's really nice because when you're about to synchro summon, you just bring this guy out. So it's another strong monster that you're bringing out. In addition, you can combine him to do more synchros. And then Blackluster Soldier, another light monster that's 8 stars that can be useful in synchro summoning, but also when you're running Summoner Monk and Gorz and like Catastor over here, you'll be able to bring him out very easily, which is very nice. So for the spell cards, you're going to have a lot of these Vylon spell cards. Vylon Matter, very nice card for recycling and adding effects. Vylon Material, very nice for increasing attack. Vylon Component allows you to do piercing. Vylon Filament allows you to kind of turn your monsters into ancient gears, which is very nice. And then Vylon Segment, it's nice to keep your opponent from targeting you with effects. So they all do kind of different things, and it's not a big deal if you want to equip more than one of them. And almost all of them allow you to search out more of them. So very, very good cards overall, and they kind of allow you to keep things going. And then MST, Dark-Hole, Mind Control, obviously in a synchro-based deck. And Reinforcement of the Army, allowing you to get Trident Warrior and Photon Thrasher. This deck does not run very many traps. Very few builds run too many traps. So your options are pretty limited. Royal Decree runs pretty well with this deck. So that's currently what I'm running. So for the extra deck, obviously very important with this type of deck. You're going to want a variety of levels and a lot of specific ones. Catastor, very good. Iron Chain Dragon, Black Rose. The Vylons, Vylon Delta, Vylon Sigma. Very useful effects, and you want to bring them out, when you're able to. And then Lightning Warrior is another decent 7-star monster that's also a light-based monster, which can be useful for some of the other things you're doing. A Vylon Epsilon, one of the stars of this deck, 8 stars and very easy to bring out, and his effect is very nice using equip cards. And Scrap Dragon, not really many other 8 stars. Vylon Alpha and Vylon Omega. a little more difficult to get out, but they can be gotten out with a few of the different combinations you have here. And they have some decently powerful effects that can be very annoying for your opponent. For the few XYZs, running 2 Starlieges, 1 Vylon Disigma, obviously because he's a Vylon, and 1 Constellar Omega. Not many options in your XYZs. You want to stick with what will be most reliable, and these are very useful cards. So for the side decks in my videos are just recommended cards that also work with the main deck. It isn't necessarily a side deck for matches. So I'm just going to talk about the cards that can help you a lot in this deck. Shining Angel can be decently useful to special summon some cards you might need. Genex Neutron, allowing you to get a bunch of the tuners that you might want. There's some other Vylon monsters. I personally think the ones I'm using are the most useful, but there's cards like Vylon Soldier that can do some interesting stuff. Ghost Ship, similar to Vylon Prism, which is very useful. Chimera Tech, obviously with Cyber Dragon, you can consider running this. Power Tool Dragon with all these equipped cards can be useful, not currently what I'm running. The Zen Mains can help you if you run into a situation where you get 2 cubes or something like that, but it's a bit situational. Rod of Silence is actually really useful to destroy your spell cards, to combine it with this card, Vylon Element, because when your cards get destroyed, you can start swarming, so you can lead into very powerful plays with that. Vylon Prototype, another interesting one that allows you to do some swarming. Cards like Mage Power, United We Stand, all those equipped cards can also be very useful in this deck. Iron Call can be useful to special summon some machines. This deck is kind of a mixture of machines and also thunder and stuff like that, so can be useful, but I think it's situational. Photon Lead just allows you to special summon, can be useful. And then, if you want to run traps in this deck, obviously you'll be running staples like Solemn Warning. Again, you can also run things like Trap Stun instead of Royal Decree. A few different options. Currently not what I'm running though. There's probably a bunch of other cards I haven't mentioned. You can look through the Vylons to see if there's anything that interests you. But currently those are some of the ones that get talked about the most, and I see them in a lot of different Vylon builds. Overall, fun deck. Can do very well. It can run into some issues because it's not running some traps, so you gotta really get those good card combos right away. But if you have your own Vylon deck, you can post below, let me know in the comments, talk about what cards you use, make suggestions for me, that kind of thing. If you like this video, you can subscribe or hit the like button. I'd really appreciate it. You can also check the playlists that are in the description. One of them will have a list of all the decks I've made so far. Another one will have a list of all the decks I've made for this ban list. You can also check all my contact info in the description if you want to talk to me, tweet me, duel me, anything like that. But thank you guys for watching. I will see you later.